Welcome back to Show and Tell with BTL. I'm still Will.
And I'm Andrew. Good morning.
And you're still Stephanie, I would imagine?
I am Stephanie Jennings.
Awesome.
Still Stephanie.
There was something at the end of the bio that you sent over that really touched me, and it said photography was your passion and your other project is your purpose. And that's something I really want to delve into with you and tell us all about Best Life, please.
Thank you so much for asking.
Yeah.
So Best Life Recovery Residences is a sober living home for women. I am the Women's Program Director. It's a nonprofit, and women come in ages 18 to 60, and after detox and then treatment from drug or alcohol addiction, and they come into my house, Best Life, and learn how to start a new life.
How did this project come about?
So I am in recovery. My sobriety date is December 27th, 2014. So I just celebrated 8 years. And after living the rock and roll lifestyle, you know, it took me, the party became more important than the photography. And so I needed to get my life together. And this is, once I got my life together, I wanted to help other women get their life together, because in looking for help, I didn't find anything that suited me. So I created something.
The mix of that purpose and passion is just, it's truly invigorating. Just out of curiosity, do any of the ladies that live with you, do they also work with you at Low Mill?
Yes, they do. I let them come, and during open studio nights, they greet everybody, and if I have a photography job, they will watch the studio. They help me with graduations, weddings, they assist me on different events.
Very cool, very cool.
You know, one thing when you talk about that, someone watching this show right now is probably suffering in silence, as we were talking about off camera. Just give a little bit of how problems of that can happen to anyone.
Yeah, addiction, alcoholism can happen to anyone, and it's really hard. Like for 20 years, I was a functioning alcoholic. I was able to do what I needed to do, and I thought I was having a good time. But at the end, once I crossed that line, from a partier to it's a problem. There's no going back. The only way forward is recovery, or jails, or death. I mean, it's recovery, institutions, or death. There's three choices.
I should have been enrolled in a Al-Anon or whatever program when I was like 4. I mean, the number of people in my family that have died from alcoholism, it's more than I can count on one hand. So the fact that compared to the 70s, where it was just like, no big deal, or whatever, you didn't talk about it, to today, it's like we're here on a televised TV show, and we're going, this is an issue, this is a problem, and you, Stephanie, are providing a solution for lifting people up. So that's highly commendable.
Yes, I love to lift people up and watch people grow and just really start a new life.
Absolutely.
So, in comparing that to the rock and roll world, because you see a lot of the people that were partiers that are now not so much.
Correct.
Just give everybody a glimpse of how that transpires in that world.
Well, back in the day, it was just very open to party, but today's drugs are different. And so now, as we get older, it's very hard to come back from a night of partying and, wanting to live a healthy lifestyle. It's been awesome to go back into the Grateful Dead, which is now Dead and Company, and they have sober groups. So almost every, band touring from Widespread Panic to Fish, they will have a table at the shows, and during the breaks, all the sober people, we go to the table and we have a meeting during the break, and we get to meet other, sober people that have the same interest as us, that love music, that love dancing, that love that lifestyle, but we still love the music. And, we meet and we get to meet each other.
I went to my first Bobby Weir concert not too long ago in Chattanooga, and I'd have to tell you, my first. And what I loved the most was The atmosphere and the people, and I met a couple that were from, like, I don't know, Connecticut or something in front of me, but it was like this big festival of openness and friendship and love, and it was just the best feeling ever. I mean, and I just sat there and I just took it all in. I was like, wow, this is cool.
Yes, I just had a couple who were in town for a wedding that they're from Mobile. They met me at a show, and they came in and we sat down and we talked Grateful Dead for hours. And we went through all my archives. We were pulled out 1991, and just not only do I have the negative slides and the pictures, but all the memorabilia. So all the magazines my photos were published in, and especially the Dead fanzines from Unbroken Chain to Priest Diamond News.
So I have to ask a question because I just recently watched the documentary. You were at the new Woodstock.
Yes, well, Woodstock 94.
Yes.
Mudstock.
Mudstock.
So a lot of people, because it's a trending documentary, a lot of people have seen it. Just tell us about Woodstock 94.
I will have to pull out those pictures for you. Yeah, Mudstock was pretty amazing and terrifying all at the same time. I almost lost my Birkenstocks because the mud was so deep. The pictures, I have lots of pictures, up to my knees, and I actually still have those Birkenstocks with that mud on them.
Oh,
I have
wow.
it rolled up in a paper bag. But it was just crazy. It was crazy.
Wow.
Okay, and one question we ask people that come on the show typically.
Haven't asked this in a while.
Well, it's a little bit different though. Who is your favorite quote unquote star that you have worked with? And you've got quite the book of them.
There's so many favorite stars, but right now I'm back to photographing some performers that I photographed 30 years ago at Lollapalooza. They were called the Jim Rose Circus Sideshow. And
also a current documentary.
correct. There's a picture of me in the documentary, and 100 or so of my pictures are featured in the documentary, and it's currently touring. And so I'm now photographing those same performers. And so I'm bringing all my work from 30 years ago to current. And it's been really exciting working with those guys because we have kept in touch, and I photographed them at different, places in their lives. And so I have photos of the Enigma when he was the Slug, before he had a tattoo, and now he's covered head to toe in tattoos. So the pictures that I have from back in the day to now are very interesting.
I have to tell you, you use a phrase that my spouse uses like 100 times a day, and it needs to be on a t-shirt, and all I gotta say is back in the day. Chip, back in the day.
Hashtag back in the day.
Hashtag back in the day. There you go.
Back in the day.
Well, for me, I'm just going to say you're one of the coolest people I've ever met on this show. And I knew from the words that came off of this page that you really touched me, and I think it's just major cool. If everybody wants to come see you at Low Mill, how do they go about doing that?
I'm in Studio 2018, and you can check on Low Mill's website. You can check on my Facebook page, our hours, and I changed my show up. So on the wall, there's different photos, and I'm digging into the archives, so there will be things that have never been published or seen before. In the window, I have a Grateful Dead slideshow going, so there's something to see.
So before we go, you have quite the history in the pages we have about you.
There's a lot.
What did we not cover that you wanted to cover?
I think we covered almost everything, but again, that I'm a survivor with the Phil Spector things from my past. It's...
Also a documentary.
Yes, I'm in episode 3. It's on Showtime right now. So it's, I had a wonderful career in photography and rock and roll, and I was just living life, and, I did let, the partying scene take over. But I think I'm living proof that you can come back from that. Like, that doesn't have to define you, that you, I literally almost lost everything but my slides and negatives, and came back to Huntsville. This is my hometown, and created a new life here. And not only am I fulfilling my passion, but my purpose with helping other women recover from drug and alcohol addiction and showing that there is a way out.
And what is that website?
That website is bestliferecoveryresidences.org. or it's actually bestliferecovery.org.
Awesome. And if anyone's watching this and needs help, they can reach out anytime.
They can reach out to me personally. You can find me. I'm very open on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok at SEJ Photo Alabama. You can stop at my studio, but I am open to messaging, phone calls, all of that for help.
Awesome. With all that being said, we will see you guys in just a few minutes.
Cece?